I didn't have my headphones on when I was doing my check.
Uh-huh.
And so I was like, I'm listening now to make sure it sounded good. And I'm hearing my voice going, check. And then I hear you singing in the back, which I didn't know you were doing because I didn't hear it. What's happening?
I'm spontaneous. So
I see that.
that's what people say about me.
Yeah.
With many things. Did you see that the Many Husbands of Evelyn, what's her name, coming to video or to movie? What is it? The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which is a really good book. Netflix is making it a movie.
Okay.
The novel tells the story of the fictional old Hollywood star Evelyn Hugo, who at age 79 gives a final interview detailing her relationships and exploits to an unknown journalist, Monique Grant.
Oh.
Yeah.
I do not know that one. Do you have like a blanket or something that you can put on your desk so that when you set things down? Yeah. So as long as you don't touch the microphone at all.
In the words of MC Hammer, can't touch this. If we don't make it in the podcasting world, I really think we have a shot at singing.
I think we got to do something. We have to entertain the masses. All right, let's get started so that we can, let's do the, the intro and all that. So that we can, I just said, I'm going to be really hyper about the because I know that we both say them too much. There you go.
Oh, see?
I know I should get like a shock buzzer or something.
Okay.
Oh my God.
We're so bad.
Oh my God.
Okay. Hello, friends, and welcome to the Activity Continues podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Megan.
And I'm Amy.
We discuss episodes of the Travel Channel's TV show, The Dead Files. This week, Amy will be covering season 2, episode 17 on Discovery. On Hulu, it's episode 15, which originally aired May 3rd, 2013, and it's called Possession. So I'm sure it's just a delightfully happy story.
It's a romp, I tell you.
Like butterflies and sunshine, the whole way.
Unicorn and rainbows.
Knew it.
Yep. And Megan will be covering season 7, episode 4, Compelled, which originally aired September 3rd, 2016. And I just wanted to do a little content warning here on mine anyway. There's suicidal thoughts and child death in history, not current. And so do you have any in yours that you want to talk about?
I think so.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Wait. No.
Okay. Sounds good.
We have a lot to talk about this week,
we do.
Guys.
We do. First of all, I want to talk about this cold brew that you gave me. So the first few times that Megan and I recorded, she was drinking this Cafe Agave spiked cold brew coffee, and she didn't like it as much as the Rebel. So she gave me her.
Yeah, and the only reason I was drinking it is because the liquor store I went to didn't have Rebel.
Right.
So
she gave me the 2 cans she didn't like. So I had it last time, and I thought it was okay. I mean, I don't love it, but it's good. I'll drink it, no problem. So I looked at it today just because I wanted to see if it had caffeine in it.
Yeah.
And it says, contains sulfites, grape wine with dairy cream, natural colors, and caramel color. So it is grape wine with coffee flavor. Isn't that bizarre?
That is the weirdest thing who would think to put those two together?
I don't know. But I'm going to open it now. So this is where we're going to edit if we have to.
Oh, I already opened mine.
Okay.
And you guys, we have a code red. Code red. I am down to my last 2 cans of Rebel. So I know.
Oh, my stars.
I know. Oh, yeah. We're on the vanilla latte this time.
Oh, yeah.
So
Do you like
this
that one?
one's good. Yeah. I'd never had it before. So
I like that one too. Yeah. Tastes just like grape wine and cream. And
I mean, if you closed your eyes, you wouldn't know the difference.
You know, I kind of want to do that now. I kind of want to get some more of it and then like have Greg make me up a red wine with cream in it.
As
if I
he
can
want to do. You know, I can't tell you how many times I've been over there and Greg's been like, do you want to try this wine with cream? And I'm like, Greg.
You're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No. He'll make his unbelieving dreams come true.
Yeah, that's right. Oh boy.
Greg, you scamp. That's what I call him. I'm like, Greg, you scamp.
You scamp. Okay, so our first order of business, I believe, after the alcoholic beverage conversation is that we have to welcome a new patron.
What?
Yay, we have a new patron.
Tell him the best part.
What's the best part?
Don't we not know this person?
No, we don't know this person. Yeah. Yeah, our first patron was a friend that I brought to the podcast. And then the second one was a friend that Megan brought to the podcast. And yes, we do not know this person personally.
Yes. We do not know this person. How many of those have you had?
2 sips, I swear to God. But I've been thinking about it all day. Maybe that makes a difference.
Before that, she was hitting the wine and cream real hard. You have.
Tell you though, after I got done editing tomorrow's episode, when that comes out tomorrow, that by the time you guys hear this, it will already be out.
It will be last week.
It'll be last week's, and it really kicked my ass a little bit. And so by the time I was done with it, I was like, I think I might want to start drinking right now. But then I knew that I would have to take a long nap before we meet tonight, or I wouldn't be able to read my notes. So I did not. This is my first drink.
You could just wing it.
Yeah.
So yes, welcome, Heather. We are very excited to have you as part of our Patreon family.
Very excited.
Does it tell you where Heather's from?
It doesn't. No.
Okay.
No. I should probably ask people because when someone becomes a patron, I reply back and say thank you and blah blah blah. And I should probably ask and say, hey, let me know where you're at. Maybe she's in Virginia.
Oh, she's the one doing Lord's work and starting her podcast. You know, I was listening to the draft you sent me, and I was like, I missed a song opportunity when you talked about Virginia, and I could have been like, meet Virginia. I can't wait to meet Virginia.
Yep. Yeah.
Missed it.
Oh,
it was
wow.
a good song.
You didn't know.
I know. That's what matters.
Yeah. That's what matters. Okay. So speaking of Virginia and our excitement of last week, our downloads are back to normal.
Wah, wah, wah.
Sad trombone.
But you know what?
What?
Listen, it's not sad because we're still getting downloads.
We are.
And you guys are really.
It's just not 330 in 24 hours is all.
Oh, that was 550. But who's counting?
Well, that's true. That was that the second day. You're right. It was 550. Yeah, we might not see that again, but
that's okay. You know what? It was a high that'll carry me through.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, being excited about that.
It was great while it lasted. And it will continue to last because,
well, yeah,
you guys keep listening to us.
Yeah. So cool.
Yeah.
Kudos to you guys and gals and non-binary pals.
And non-binaries and theys. He's, she's, and theys.
Theys and gays, yeah.
Theys and gays.
Yep.
Welcome, everybody. However you identify. Welcome.
Cool too.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Also, I have a ghost of the day calendar that I've talked about on here before.
Yeah.
And I talked about it and sent it so much to Amy that she then purchased it.
I went out and bought one for myself.
Yes. And I keep sending her links or pictures. And I'm like, I know you have this, but I'm going to send it anyway. So Amy, being the genius that she was like, everybody who listens needs a copy of this calendar. So she will be linking that in the show notes and also in our socials for anybody who wants to go and purchase that. And it's really fun. It doesn't just have It has a lot of different haunted places and like different ghosts it features, but it'll also talk about like ways, places if you want to find haunted. What was that? If you want to,
I thought you were going to say haunted locations, and that would have been completely normal.
No, but you know what? I fell apart halfway through that sentence. I started and I didn't know where it was taking me, and it was a dead end. So if you wanted to find out, where to hold a seance, it has that. It has top like 5 podcasts to listen to about ghosts.
Mhm.
We are not on there, but
No,
it was made before us.
Made like a year,
2
years ago, probably.
Or I expect in 2023 we'll be on there.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Aim big.
I'm for those of you who are going to be looking at the video portion. Oh, you can't really see it anyway.
Can't really
maybe
see
a
it,
little
no.
bit. But this is it's a page a day.
Yeah.
Here for sound effects. A page a day. And today's was The Pitcher Man and Goose River Bridge. I confess I have not read it yet because I was a little busy today.
I read it and then I posted it, and that's why we drink. It's about a ghost who walks around, with a pitcher of ale, and he's trying to get everybody drunk. And so I posted in the And That's Why We Drink group. And I was like, is this Christine, but with a bladder of wine? Because she carries, So I'm like, this is the type of ghost that I would be.
Yes, that's a type of ghost I would be too.
Or there was a ghost that reads and haunts a library. And I'm like, big.
Oh, that sounds good too. That reminds me. Did you get a package from me?
Oh, I did. Hang on, it's upstairs. Hang on.
Okay. Yeah, this coffee drink's not bad. It's going down. This grapes wine cream drink is going down pretty well. So I got Megan a gift, and I told her not to open it before we saw each other today, but it arrived yesterday. So I don't know if she was good and kept it boxed up, but I wanted her to unbox it here on the podcast. I was just talking to the people.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Megan is back with the Amazon bag.
Yes. And my husband got it. And he was like, what did you order now? And I'm like, it wasn't me.
You ever need me to text him and say it's something I ordered for her? Don't yell at her. Let me know.
I might need you to do that in the future, even when you don't order things.
I should not have offered.
Do you want me to open it? What is it for? First, tell the listeners.
It is a celebration milestone gift.
We had a lot of milestones last time.
I was going to get this for you when we reached 500 downloads.
Well, congrats. We did that.
We did.
It's a candle. It's like, I burn candles. It says, I hope we're friends until we die. Then I hope we stay ghost friends and scare the crap out of people. We totally will. Oh my God, it smells amazing.
I know. I have one of those same candles, and I love the smell. I'll put a link to that too in the show notes if anybody wants to buy one for their friend.
So sweet. And we totally are going to haunt the shit out of everybody.
That's right. We're going to be doing passing around bladders of wine and pints of ale and sleeping, right?
And books. Yeah. And then we'll be taking a nap.
And then we'll be sleeping. Yeah. It sounds perfect to me. I mean, as long as we can pet kittens and dogs, I'm good.
Oh my God. Okay. I just had the best, when we're ghosts, we're going to be surrounded by all of the ghosts of all the animals we've ever had.
Absolutely. That sounds perfect.
Yes, it does. I'm just getting my lighter out of my crafting drawer.
Oh, you're going to light it now? Cool.
Of course. I always burn a candle when we record.
Do you?
Yeah.
I do sometimes, but I don't know what happened to the one I had back here. I should keep that one back here. I have the same one,
All right.
Okay, so one more thing we need to talk about. The Dead Files season 14 finale is going to be airing April 2nd, 2022, which is going to be tomorrow for y'all in podcast land.
Mm-hmm.
A week away for us. And it is a 2-hour special where they investigated the whole town of Flagstaff.
God.
Yeah. I'm so excited.
I can't wait.
Maybe you should come over and we should watch it
Okay.
together.
I get you twisted my arm.
We can like live blog it or something.
Yes.
Yeah. Record ourselves watching it. Or
We
something.
should. Oh my God, I can't wait.
Yeah. It's going to be
That'll
good.
be so good.
Yep.
A whole town?
Mhm.
Poor Amy.
I know. Can you imagine how drained she must have been?
I hope they gave her a spa day
I hope they gave her one every day after she had to do a walk. Jeez.
through the whole town. And
Yeah.
Flagstaff's a pretty big city, I think.
Is it? I don't know Flagstaff. But I believe
I don't either. We've never met, but I mean, I know the city. I've heard of it, so I assume it's
I've heard of it.
Flagstaff, Arizona population.
I guess looking it up.
76,831 as of 2021.
Okay.
So she's large and in charge.
That's a lot of. Hopefully, she didn't have to read every person.
Could she? Oh my God, I couldn't even imagine. Amy, girl, to have a sit down, have some wine, relax, add some cream to it if you're so inclined. If you, who thought that? Like, who was sitting at home drinking their wine and they're like, you know what this needs, Steve?
You know what? This would be great if it had.
And Steve's
cream
like,
in it.
yeah. Steve's like, Ron, cream. And Ron's like, fuck yeah, Steve. I don't know why they're two guys.
I was going to say, who are Steve and Ron? Okay.
They're the people in my imagination.
I see. Okay.
One of the voices. I'm just kidding. I don't know the voices.
That would be two of the voices, wouldn't it?
That would be, yeah. Listen, I'm not a math person, okay?
We've established that. I'm not either.
Who's
I can
going
count to two.
first?
You are going first.
Okay. Somebody needs to. I'm glad Amy's in charge of this shit show.
Well, at least you are going. I mean, I went first last time, so
Okay.
that's if you don't want to go first, you don't have
I'm
to.
totally fine going
Okay.
first.
Cool,
So
cool.
again, mine is season 7, episode 4. And as I was going through this, and I'm texting Amy as I do literally every second I'm awake, I texted her that I knew that the sketch was going to be fucking freaky as hell. And I was right. So buckle in, everybody.
Before you get started, what made you choose this one?
Randomly, completely random.
I did that with mine too.
Yeah, I was like talking to you and I'm like, what are you doing? And I was like, you know what, season 7, episode 4. So that's just what I chose. So we're with Steve and Janice and they're in St. Charles, Michigan. And Janice, bless her little heart, she is a mess. Like she breaks down multiple times. She just feels so helpless. She feels like everything is going to explode. Steve asks her what's going on. She hears banging, knockings, screams, voices.
She's listening to our unedited podcast.
I think she is. Yeah. I think she's like, God, Megan, quit putting your phone down.
You know, it's not all. I do it too.
I'm filing my nails. I mean, geez, what is going on? This is why I don't go out in public, you guys, except to go to work. And even then, they just put me in the corner.
No, never put baby in the corner.
Never. Don't put baby in the corner. Things are being thrown, and now there's physical attacks. Her daughter, Kaylee, who's 20, has woken up with scratches on her face. Kaylee's health is really bad, too. She gets stomach migraines, which I don't know what that is, but that's what Janice said, and I trust Janice.
Sure.
And a racing heart. Janice says that Kaylee doesn't stay by herself in the house. She doesn't do it. And her husband is overseas doing construction in Africa for the next 18 months.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Just like the one I did last week where the woman's husband worked for the Department of Defense.
Yep.
And so she was home all by herself for months at a
Karen.
time. Yeah.
Was that her name? Karen?
Yep, it was Karen.
Yeah. So they moved into the house in 2002 and the activity started right away. But it increased in 2013 when the husband, whose name is Mike, his mom passed away. And they have her ashes. And Steve goes, where? In the house? You're kidding me. It's like, I wish you guys could, if you watch the episode, you'll see his face. He's like, where?
Mhm.
What? Huh? I'm like, yeah. And then Janice goes and brings her mother-in-law in this beautiful bag and sets her right on the table. So,
Oh, dear.
her name was Ruth. And Mike's relationship with his mom was not great.
Oh.
She was very controlling. Get this. She would bring men home in front of Mike while his mother and father were still married. So she's just openly having affairs in front of her son. And
That's the making of a serial killer right there.
Yeah, it is. It's not great.
So
Don't do that.
Hopefully Mike's not a serial killer.
No, I don't think he is.
Okay, good.
He seems like a stand-up guy.
Okay, good.
I mean, we only met him via Skype, but he seemed cool.
Okay, good.
When Mike was 16, he quit talking for a year because of the trauma from this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like he just, and Steve is like to his mom, and Janice goes, no, she just quit talking.
To everyone.
Plus,
that's so sad.
And then she breaks down crying, which obviously, and she's like, a son shouldn't have to go through that. And you could tell she was just heartbroken by this. And so cue Steve giving her the hanky.
Yay.
I know. Steve and his hanky is just so sweet. And so she said when they got together, Ruth didn't like her. She was 26 and got pregnant. And Ruth said, I thought you weren't that kind of girl. First of all,
to talk, Ruth.
First of all, what kind of girl? She was 26, and even if she was younger,
yeah,
so what?
Do whatever you want.
And like you said, you're the one that's parading men,
right,
while having an affair with your husband. So those at glass houses shouldn't throw stones, Ruthie.
Come on, Ruth.
Oh, get it together. So then, they go to the kitchen, and they were, Steve's like, okay, well, what's going on in here? So Janice says she was doing dishes and a box of tea bags came flying out at her and almost hit her. Now, the way where Janice is doing dishes, yeah, she almost got
I've got an X-rated joke going on in my head right now.
Is it about tea bagging?
It is about tea bags.
Yeah, because I did just say she almost got tea bagged.
Yep. I think we already have a few good titles for the episode.
It's like the Step Brothers movie with Will Ferrell. You gonna teabag with drum set? Anywho, so the way where Janice is said is standing is like a good distance. Like there's a good 4 or 5 feet between where the bags of tea were and where Janice was.
Okay.
You guys, I swear we're not drunk.
No, not yet. I mean, I'm about halfway done with this.
Yeah.
Grape wine.
Cream. Grape
concoction.
wine. Everything is grape wine, Megan.
No, but that's what it says on the thing. It says grape wine as opposed to foot wine, which
right.
I call the wine that. I'll just tangent here for a second.
Yeah.
Many years ago, Greg decided he wanted to make wine at home.
Oh, Lord.
Yes. So I got him a winemaking kit for Christmas, right? I went to one of those like just brewery places and they had a winemaking kit. I got that for him with the tubes and the whole thing and all that stuff. And he made the wine and he made it in the he made it in in the bathtub, but not like in the bathtub. You know what I mean? It was in the bathtub, but it was in containers. It wasn't like directly in the bathtub, like bathtub gin, it wasn't like that. But
it was Greg's bathtub wine.
So we called it bathtub wine. And then we, bottled it and put it in the basement for however many months you're supposed to wait until you can drink it. And so we're sitting there like twiddling our thumbs, like, when can we drink this yummy, yummy wine? I can't wait. And we pull it out when it's supposed to be, at the earliest possible time that we could have it. And we opened it up and I poured it into a glass and I smelled it and Greg smelled it and we both said, it smells like feet. And so we called it foot wine.
Did you taste it?
Oh, yeah.
Did it taste like feet?
Well, I don't eat feet, so I don't know, but it tasted like feet smell.
Okay, gross.
And it was, but it was very, very potent. So at a very, very last resort, you could chug a glass of that at the end of the night and then chase it with something else if you needed to.
I bet it would have been good if you'd added cream. Did you even think
God damn it.
that?
I don't know why we didn't think of it.
Where were Steve and Ron when you needed them?
Oh my God.
Oh, fucking Steve.
Okay, back to your story. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. So in the kitchen, she feels unnerved, or she feels a unnerving feeling like she's being watched, even when they're talking. And Steve's like, even now? And she goes, yeah, I feel like she's in its space, this entity's space. And so she hears a woman's voice saying, where's Mike? And Steve goes, well, the obvious question, doesn't sound like your mother-in-law? And she said, yes, it does. So then they go into the master bedroom And she's woken up with bruises on her hands, and she shows Steve photos of her bruises. And I tried to send you one. I don't know how it came across. I don't know. They look like fingers. Like in the picture, it looks like an arm has, like a hand has grabbed her.
Okay.
She said she had blood work done to see if there was another issue, and there was nothing else. That morning, before they were set to record at 4 a.m., Janice woke up and saw an outline of a woman hitting her, like trying to hit her, and she thinks it's her mother-in-law.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, and then she breaks down, and she said to see something coming at her to hit her. She said she doesn't know how to explain it. She goes, I think I made somebody angry. And Steve goes, yeah, your mother-in-law didn't like you. I was like,
Wait, what if she didn't know that? And she's like, what?
Well, she's the one that told him.
Oh, she is. Okay, yeah. I thought it was the husband that.
Wait, did you hear something?
Who told you? Where did you hear? Did my husband tell you that?
Did Mike tell you that?
I thought maybe he told her that on the Skype thing. Okay, I see the bruises Janice wakes up with. Yeah, it's hard to see what it is.
Yeah.
And it looks like a marble, but
it's bad.
I'll see if I can get another picture. Otherwise, we'll just, people can watch the show.
Yeah. She's like, who are you going to tell, like, when this happens? She's like, people are going to think you're crazy. And then Steve goes, I don't think you're crazy, sweetheart. And gives her a hug.
Oh,
Steve.
Oh. I want a Steve hug.
I want a Steve. You know he gives good hugs.
You know he does.
He smells like really good cologne.
You know he does. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And maybe a hint of cigar under there.
Yeah.
Not bad.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah. And then we cut to Kaylee's daughter, or Kaylee, who is, good Lord, Janice's daughter. This is kind of interesting to me. She said she's really sad that her dad is gone, but it's nice because they don't have to walk on eggshells. And Steve goes, can you elaborate on that? And she said that when her dad spends a lot of the time in the basement, which is where his gym is, he gets really mean and just aggressive and argumentative and just mean. But when he comes upstairs, he's fine.
This is sounding familiar. I think I remember this one.
Yeah, you probably do.
I mean, I remember one where a guy got mean when he went in the basement. Mm-hmm. There might be more than one of those, but
probably not. That's a very rare occurrence. Just kidding. Just kidding. That's sarcasm. So then she does agree that the activity picked up after her grandma died. And she said she was a mean old lady. She said she treated, sorry.
I almost spit out my coffee.
You mean your coffee wine? Your cream wine?
Grape wine, cream wine.
Grape wine, cream.
Grape cream wine. Grape.
Sorry, I've got to get the adjectives in the right order, or it just messes the whole thing up. Kaylee said she treated her like crap. And then Steve asks her to talk about like what she, like her experiences. And she said she hears knocking coming from the closet that's connecting her room to, I think, her mom's room. But she said it sounds like there's something falling, but there's nothing in there to fall that would make that kind of a noise. And she says she wakes up with scratches on her face.
Oh, God.
And Steve goes, how often does this happen? She said once every couple of weeks. And Steve goes, let me check your nails, to see if she's got these daggers. Just
like Amy's nails from the couple of weeks ago.
I can't. How'd she function with those is beyond me. Steve checks her nails and their shorts, and he asks about the cats, and she says they don't come in here. And Kaylee thinks they're in danger, and she's really scared. So then we talk to Mike overseas. So we Skype him in, and he believes what's happening to a certain extent. And he agrees that it's worsened when there was again. He agrees that it worsened when his mother's ashes came into the house, and he had a difficult relationship with his mom. She was always trying to get involved in everyone's lives and business, telling them how to live. And Steve,
because she's an expert on how to live.
Yeah, miss, I'm going to parade my men through and cause my 16-year-old son to stop talking. Hashtag Mother of the Year. So Steve asks Mike to say, to describe any experiences that he's had in the house. And he says he's seen shadows out of the corner of his eye. In his workout room, remember I talked about that in the basement? He saw a figure in the mirror out of the corner of his eye, and he sees that happen about once every couple of weeks. And then he said he had breath on his neck when he was on the treadmill.
Oh,
No,
God.
thank you.
Mm-mm.
I don't. So Steve asks, were you under a vent or anything? And Mike said, nope, there was no vent there. There was no fan. There was no other explanation other than a fucking breath on his neck. No,
Gross.
thank you. So
that would make me not want to work out. I'm just saying.
Right? That's what I'm saying. You know what? I tried to eat healthy this week. I got hard-boiled eggs. We don't need to say where from, but it rhymes with mass-mation. And I got some horrible food poisoning.
Yeah.
So I think the universe is telling me to eat Girl Scout cookies.
Or make your eggs in the Instant Pot. 5, 5, and 5.
Why do you gotta be like that?
5 on high, 5 resting, 5 in cold water. Minutes, that is. It's so easy.
I know.
I always have hard-boiled eggs in the fridge.
I know.
I mean, at least it wasn't mass-mation sushi.
Yeah. Oh, can you? I don't like sushi though, so thank goodness. Dodged a bullet there. So then Steve talks about how when he gets to the town, he works the phones. He calls cops, historians, anybody, trying to see if anybody has a lead on the property, anybody has any history they can dig up on the property. And he got a call back from a genealogist.
Not a gynecologist.
Her name is Carol Kuski. And she said, oh, look at you with your Rebel. What kind is that?
That is the mocha latte.
Oh, the mocha.
Yeah, you might want to hang on for a second because I'm going to crack this and I want to.
Okay.
I mean, I can always, cut out my line. Oh, that reminds me. I forgot to tell you what I did today.
What'd you do today?
Let me crack this. Hang on. I filmed a commercial.
Yes. Tell me about that.
Okay. So several months ago, we had a mouse infestation. We had mice we'd find them we wouldn't find them. We'd find the poopies.
Ooh, poopy.
And we couldn't seem to get rid of them. And so I sent out a message to our neighborhood email group and said, does anybody have any suggestions? And a lot of people suggested this certain place. I'll just say them. They're good. Adams Pest Control, local in Minneapolis. And so they came out, they took care of the issue. Then we signed up for the thing where you pay like a certain amount every quarter and then they take care of everything for you.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to worry about anything. So they come out and it's not that expensive. I think it's very reasonable. And so then we had ants in the kitchen downstairs here.
Oh my God.
And then they came out and took care of that. And so now we're pest free, except for those fucking stink bugs that keep coming in. I didn't even mention those to Adams, or they probably would have come out and done something about that too. I just figured they'll die. I mean, they die in like 5 minutes. Like I told you, that one died after I yelled at him. So who knows? They die really quick. So I'm not too worried. But anyway, after I did my last service with them, they asked me to fill out a questionnaire or a survey about how I liked the service. And I gave them like 5 stars. And I said that I thought they were great. And I know our technician, they give you the same person every time. So he comes over, he knows the dog.
To know you. Yep.
They know him. He knows the house. He knows where things are and all that kind of stuff. So I said that I really liked him. And I was glad that that their business model is that we get the same guy every time and blah, blah, blah. And so this guy reached out to me and he said, I read your testimonial and I wonder if you would be willing to let us record that for a commercial. And I was like, oh, yeah, that'd be cool. So they came to the house today, the little camera crew of 2 and the marketing manager and the owner came. And so I don't know if you've seen their commercials. I don't know if there's any on YouTube for those who aren't in the Twin Cities area, but
for all our Virginians.
Yeah, for Virginia folks. I'll see if I can find one on YouTube and I'll post it if I can. But anyway, they're silly commercials. There's usually like a person dressed in a bug suit and they're like, who invited the fly to our picnic? And they're really silly. And every commercial ends with the owner saying this thing about, we've been doing this for 20 years or whatever, and we'll blah, 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 guaranteed. And so the owner came to the shoot today. And so I had to do a little scene with him
Mhm.
where he starts the we do this, blah, 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 blah. I can't remember anymore. And then I'm supposed to interrupt him and say, they'll take care of whatever's bugging you, guaranteed. And I had to do it in like 5 takes because I kept saying, they'll take care of whatever's bothering you.
And they were like, God damn it.
Guys, like, that was awesome. Except, can you say bugging? And I'm like, so
that was great, except you didn't do it right.
Except we have to do that over again. So
it was so great. We want to do it again.
Yeah. We just can't
That is so exciting.
It was really fun. It was really fun. And and the owner was cool. They were a fun bunch of guys, and yeah, we had a good time. So it's going to be, so there were 2, they asked me about like, what are my least favorite pests? And one of them.
Did you say men? Just kidding.
I don't think they take, not in a room full of men. I didn't say that. But,
right.
I don't think they deal with that in their service contract, but
I read the room. You're like, men, am I right, guys? It's like,
I mean,
it's great. You're like, we'll get that. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Okay, so for one of I did 2 takes. One of them I said mosquitoes because they are my arch nemesis.
Yes,
and that is absolutely true. And the other one I said mice. And so we did 2 different stories basically. And so if they use the mosquito one, it'll be out in April. If they use the mouse one, it'll be out in the fall.
Sure.
So I don't know when the commercial is going to be aired, but
yeah.
If I didn't completely fuck it up, it will be out either in April or in the fall. And when it is, I will see if I can get a recording of it or something.
They should give it to you. You're the star.
Well, they said they would like send me a copy.
Yeah.
So I could see it. And I was like, let me know if it's okay for me to post it on social media. I have several different accounts and lots of followers. And they were like, ooh, okay.
And then I mentioned my 2 podcasts.
Yeah. I did talk about the podcast.
Did you really?
We were talking, they mic'd me up, they put the mic in my shirt. And then the dogs were, of course I had to lock the dogs away.
Yeah.
And they're all like, and I'm like, you know what? The mic is probably going to pick that up. And I was talking about how when we do the podcast and there's always like some thumping or thunking or some kind of noise like that. And the guy goes, oh yeah, mics pick up everything in the background, but they don't pick up your voice that well. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. That's what happens all the time. And then I said, you can always fix it in post. And he goes, no, but you can't. And I'm like, I know, it's just a joke. I can't. I know. I know.
I'm in the industry, guys.
Yeah.
I'm the biz.
I do know this. So yeah, no, it was really fun. But anyway.
Yeah, that's exciting. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, me too.
Super fun. Okay. So, come on, that crickets joke was really funny though. Oh my God, a crickets joke. Did you miss my whole crickets joke?
I think I missed your crickets joke, and I even have new headphones in so I can hear you.
I was laughing so hard you might not have got it, but I said read the room, and then I said,
oh, I did.
Ben, am I right? And then they're like, what? And then I said crickets, and then I'm like, but we'll take care of that.
Oh my God, I love it. Okay, I'll hear it when I'm editing. Because I often play just like yours. Because a lot of times we're talking over each other, and a lot of times I'm like, oh my God, I didn't hear her say that. That was fucking funny. So then whatever I was saying, I just silence my line so that I can, so people can hear you. So I'll do that. I'll fix it.
Oh man. Sometimes I'm so hilarious. Okay. So back to Carol Kuski. So we're talking about the original owner of the house. His name was John Bonmar, I think. Came over from Germany. He emigrated in 1880 when he was 29 years old with his wife, Anna, and his 2 sons, Leonard and Frederico, and his baby girl who was 9 months old. He was a farmer. That was his job. And so, 6 days after they got there, their 9-month-old daughter dies. And then 8 days after that, Leonard Leonard dies. Leonard.
You tried to make him sound more fancy than he is.
I did. Oh, Leonard died. So they don't know what he died of, what they died of. They probably think that they contracted something on the ship. So John and Anna had 2 more children after that, but in 1884, Anna dies probably from childbirth. He marries 3 more times over 31 years, and each wife dies. First, we have Minnie Kutzbach, who died in 1880 of consumption. Tuberculosis.
I had one of those in mine too.
Oh, twinsies. Then we have Wilhelmina Wall. She died in 1913 of an infection of the heart and kidneys.
Ooh.
He married less than a year later in 1914. Shortest marriage of all. Within a year and a half, she died. She was struck and killed by a car. Then he married in 1918 Christina Barnakow. In 1920, they buy the client's property. And then in 1929, John Bonmar is struck and hit by a car and killed in a hit-and-run accident. So then we go to our library montage where he's checking out the books, and he finds a man is crushed to death in front of his son in the coal mine, just a few thousand yards or feet from. Jesus Christ!
Just start that sentence over. Unless you want me to leave it all in.
It's going to be midnight by the time we're done. A man was crushed to death in front of his son in the coal mine, a few thousand feet from the property. Nailed it.
Got it.
So then we go to TJ Gaffney, who's a mining expert. And turns out that this whole area was a big mining, had a lot of mining pipes and tunnels and everything. Started in 1896, totally on accident. There was a guy digging for water in a well, accidentally hit black rock, which was coal, and bada bing, bada boom, you got a mine. So tons of immigrant workers in the mines, lots of kids doing the work. Because remember, this was fucking 1900. There weren't any child labor laws. You know, if you could work, you could work.
Yep.
Horrible conditions, as I'm sure everybody's aware of during coal mining and really any mining. There's cave-ins, highly explosive gases, just terrible scenarios, lots of death. And I actually sent you a picture of a man who was crushed to death, and you see his legs sticking out of this pile of rocks. It's really tragic.
Oh, yeah. So, yep, I see it.
Less than a half a mile in 1901 from the property, we have a man whose name is Albert Newman. He's working in one of the rooms with his son. Yep.
Actually, you can see you.
I know.
Okay. And then
yes, that's the picture.
Yeah.
So he's working in one of the rooms with his son. He's ironically testing out the roof of that room to get ready to drill to see if it's stable. Sends his son out of the room. His son heard what he thought was rushing water. Turns out it was his dad's blood. He had been crushed to death by about 50 tons of rock.
Holy shit.
Yeah, right in front of
That's like pancake. I mean.
Yeah. There's and Amy talks about it too. So then this isn't obviously the only death. In December of 1907, there's another man crushed to death. April 1920, a man named Nelson Carl Smith fell 20 feet to his death. And then the mine closed around 1931. Oofda. So then we get to Amy's arrival, and she says there's something about a male that lives here. He had a family, and he has this strange idea that his family has been cursed. He's saying that because of the curse, everybody died, and she said he's a problem. He's a big problem. So starts her walk, and immediately she encounters a dead woman. Amy doesn't like her. She's very creepy. She said she's probably been married a few times. Amy sees her with a lot of men, so she thinks that she was married a few times. And then Amy says, she's creeping me out. She's creeping me out. She just repeats that. She's creeping me out. So she really didn't like this lady. So then we go into the master bedroom, and the dead woman, she really likes this room. She's kind of claimed this room as her own. She said she smothers everybody. She screams in people's ear, and she really likes the closet. She says Amy saw her throwing shoes in the master bedroom, and that Amy said she hears somebody yelling, "Don't be a stupid bitch. Don't be a stupid bitch."
Oh my God.
She's aggressive. Yeah. She said she does attacks in here, so she'll slowly open the door, and then she rushes at the living people.
Oh God.
Yeah. She says this is her space. And like I said, she's claimed the room.
Mm-hmm.
So then Amy sees a child ghost. He's got overalls or lederhosen on. And she said he has some sort of connection to the ghost who thinks that his family is cursed. So this is the ghost child. He touches people. And she said he'll glom onto other kids. He'll almost jump them. And the way that the living would like appear to other people as they're being jumped is they would just stare out into space. Like they would just kind of space out.
Oh.
And that's how you would know that the ghost kid has jumped them. And she said that the living kids could develop heart problems the more that this happens. So we get into Kaylee's room and Amy walks in and says, Lord, what the fuck? Get it away. Get it away from me now.
Okay.
And is touching her head, like grabbing her head. And that's a sound clip that I put in there. Matt asks what happened. And she said something impacted her head. She said she was talking about the little boy and he hit her in the head and her head hurt really bad.
Wow.
Yeah. So then we go down into the basement. And so she said the man who thinks he's cursed really likes it down here. She said there's a living male that has issues here, emotional issues, like pre-existing emotional issues. And she said he comes and goes and he comes and goes and he doesn't live there all the time. He leaves and comes back. She said he wasn't okay to begin with mentally. And then she said that made him a really good target for this dead guy. She said the dead guy will influence the living man to act angry. So the guy who thinks he's cursed, she said, wants the living people out. This is his space. He just wants to be alone. He's depressed, just wants everybody gone. And so he pushes weird emotions on them to try to get them out. They would feel ashamed for no reason, guilty for no reason, sad for no reason, just all of these emotions to get out. And then she said, a sound clip here says, prolonged exposure to this man would drive the living man insane. The cursed guy doesn't know how he died, said that he was a farmer in life. She said she saw him working with land, with cows, with horses. She said something happened to his whole family, and she said he feels responsible. She said his whole family died. She feels a wife died, kids died from illnesses, and he feels really responsible, and he feels like there's a curse, and he was cursed. And then she said the cursed guy started talking about tunnels. And she said she sees multiple bodies lying on the floor, 3 or 4 bodies. And he's rambling about how they need to go back to the tunnels. They belong in the tunnels. And then Matt asks her to describe them. And she says they're mangled masses of flesh. They're just a mess. Yeah. So then we go to the reveal. And it's Janice and Kaylee. And this is where Steve says, to put it bluntly, what's going on here sucks. Yeah, Steve.
Steve, always the
always eloquent.
Yeah, always the
really knows those words.
Yeah, I can't think of the thing I was going to say.
Listen, it's a mess up in here tonight. We're barely hanging on, so words are going to be real tough for us.
Oh, can't wait till I try and tell mine.
Yeah, Godspeed. So they live in fear. And Steve says they're going through it alone because Mike is overseas. He's working for 18 months. And they can't afford to leave. So then we get to Amy. And she says there's 3 conscious dead people who are causing issues. She said, but before I discuss that, she wants to talk about what she found in the basement. She said there was a deceased individual going on and on about tunnels. And she said he was showing her 3 or 4 dead people, but she said they're a clump of gore. They're just horrific looking.
That's a really disgusting her choice of words. A clump of gore.
Yeah. The man told her that these bodies needed to be moved into the tunnels where they belong. And that's where Steve talks about the mining business, everybody who got killed and crushed and how horrible the conditions were. And then he talked about the 1901 accident where Albert Newman was crushed to death in front of his son. Holy shit. So the first dead person is the female. And she said she was very creepy and she really spooked Amy a lot. And she said she likes to torture the living people. She said one of the things she saw her doing was throwing shoes. In the back bedroom, she said that she saw her smothering people. Now, whether or not, I think she meant like metaphorically trying to smother them. I don't think she could because she didn't have enough energy to manifest.
Okay.
And then that's when Janice told her about the tea incident in the kitchen where the box of tea flew at Janice.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve is like, could that have been her? And Amy goes, oh, yeah. So she said she creeps up behind people and she creeps out of the closets in the room. And Kaylee was like, is that my closet? And she said, she asked her what room she was in, and I can't remember the color that she was in. But she said, yeah, she's in your closet.
Yeah.
So that's when they show the sketch. And
okay. And this is, let me go back. This is the person sitting at the chair?
Yep.
And okay. So I can describe what I'm looking at. It's a woman sitting at a desk with a computer monitor.
And she looks like a person, like she's totally normal looking.
Yeah. Yeah. She's in like a t-shirt and jeans, and she's at a computer desk. And behind her is a very tall, thin, dark, womanly looking figure with like a big skirt and long claws.
Yep.
And a very severe head, sharp chin, and long spikes coming out of the top of her head. Yeah.
And she's got alien eyes, like big,
like
black
grays.
alien eyes. And her face just looks mean. She looks pissed.
It's like that really strong jawbone, the cheekbone.
And I can't find my phone to look at my own, but I know what it is. I sent it to you.
Yeah. It's probably under your blanket.
Probably is. And I can't look for it right now. Steve asked who she was in real life, and Amy said she was really pretty in real life. She had a lot of men in her life. She said she either married multiple times or she had a lot of partners. And she said she's jealous of a female here, and that's why she's acting out. And Steve brings out the remains of her mother-in-law, and she said, I think we all know who we're talking about. And he sets her on the table. And Janice talked about how she wasn't a very good person in real life. She talked about the many affairs that she had, how she would do it in front of Mike, traumatize that poor man.
Poor guy.
And so Steve shows her a bunch of photos of what Ruth looked like in life, starting from when she was younger and, progressive as she aged. And he goes, is this who you saw? And Amy said, that's 100% her. It's 100% who she saw.
Wow.
Yeah. So then we go to the dead child between 7 to 8 years old. And she talked about Lederhosen. She said he's reacting constantly with the living. He's caressing faces, playing with hair. And she said if there are any children in the vicinity living, he'll glom onto them. And she said it's really bad for the living, and prolonged exposure can make them sick, including heart issues. And she said they'll become violent. And that's when Amy talked about how he hit her on the head. And then Steve goes, that just about hit every friggin' experience you guys are going through.
This is actually very similar to the one that I did this week, as far as, the things you're pointing out and stuff. Yeah.
So then Kaylee talks about how she's had stomach problems her whole life, and she has something wrong with her heart. And the doctors don't know what's wrong. And that's when Amy said the kid is Kaylee. The kid that he's glomming onto is Kaylee. She's his toy. And Janice wakes up with bruises, and she said, that's the mother-in-law. So she said the kid is attached to Kaylee. The mother-in-law is attached to Ruth, to Janice.
Yeah.
So then the third person is the man who thinks he's cursed. And
in the basement?
Yep, in the basement. She said he's a serious threat. And she said he's related to the kid with Lederhosen somehow. She doesn't know if he's the father, the grandfather. So my thought is that he's John, and his child, that the little boy, is Leonard. Leonard. Why do I keep saying Leonard? He's not Italian. Leonard. She said he feels extremely guilty about what happened to his family. She said she saw him fall to his knees and exclaim it was the curse. And so I'm picturing very Leonardo DiCaprio and Romeo and Juliet.
That's why you keep saying that. That's why you keep calling him that.
Subconscious. So she said he worked outside, maybe being a farmer, and she said he lived and died and is buried on this property. And she said she's really worried about him. She said he can't do anything physical to people, but he's mastered emotional abuse. She said living people become overwhelmed by sudden emotions that, the shame, the guilt, the sadness for no reason. Janice starts crying again, and she says she feels guilty and overwhelmed about what's happening to her family. And, about how she can protect her daughter from this guy.
And I'm sure she feels like she's in it on her own.
Yeah,
because
her husband's overseas.
Gone. Yeah.
And so Amy said that he has his sights set on a male in the house. And she said that she said that he feels like the male is an easy target. She said the living male comes and goes from the house, so doesn't live there 100% of the time. She said he already has emotional issues and he will act out in anger and lash out. And then she said, if the living male is exposed to the dead male for a long period of time, he will be driven insane. And that's when Janice talks about Mike spending time in the basement. He'll come up agitated, angry, really upset, and he has outbursts. And Amy asks, does he know? Does he recall these outbursts? Does he remember having them? And they say, no, he doesn't. And then Amy goes, it's worse than she thought. She's like, this is not good. And so she said the dead guy is depressed, wants to be alone, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to get everybody out of the house. So then we have Steve, who's like, what can they do? Can they stay? Whatever. She said the first thing that you need to do is find a male medium and a priest. The first day they're going to deal with Grandma, the male medium will start with her. She said Amy's hope is that the male medium will let her vent and she'll get everything out, everything laid to rest, and move on. If she doesn't, the priest will then make her leave via exorcism.
Ew.
Yeah. Then they'll bring the male medium back to do the little boy, engage him again the same way for a few hours and let him move on. And then the last day they'll bring the male medium back to engage with the dead man, get him to move on. So the recap at the end is Janice and Kaylee brought in a priest to bless the house. They're still looking for a medium, but the activity has decreased.
Okay.
Yeah. So, oofda.
I wonder how Mike feels knowing that it's his mother that is torturing his family.
I'm sure it just adds to...
He's probably like, par
her.
For the course, that bitch.
Given the fact that she, paraded men in front of him at as young as 16, and I'm sure it started way before that.
I'm sure. That's just if he remembers.
Talking at 16.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was probably going on his whole life, and he just doesn't remember it from when he was super little.
Right. Oh, God.
Oh, man.
So I hope that they got everything. So that was in 2016. So 6 years later, I hope that they're doing okay. Okay, let's do your story.
Okay.
Oh, first though, we need an ad break or a little, not ad break, but.
So, well, actually, we have a new promo partner this month. So for the month of April, because this is coming out April 1st, for the month of April, we are partnering with a new podcast called Haunted UK.
Haunted UK.
Yep. And I've listened to an episode or two, so have you. And they're really good. The production quality is amazing.
Top notch.
Yeah, top notch. Which when I'm deciding to listen to a podcast, that's something I really care about, which is why I'm so obsessive about making ours sound okay. Because when it doesn't, I feel horrible. But that is something that they are very, very good at. This Steve is the producer. And so you will be hearing their promo during our quote unquote ad breaks during this month of April.
Yeah, I like them a lot because I always say it always, for the years and years I've been talking about this, that it's tough to be a one-person podcast because you don't have the go-between that Amy and I have or other podcasts with two people do. And this guy does it so well. he keeps you engaged. It's
Yeah.
not, you're not sitting there bored.
Yeah.
You know, he's very informative, and I just really like listening to him.
And plus, he has a really nice voice and that
Yeah.
great British accent.
accents.
Are you interested in stories of ghosts, poltergeists, and the paranormal? Do you love an amazing tale of an unsolved mystery, a strange disappearance? How about a UFO encounter, or even a first-hand sighting of a creature that should only exist in your nightmares? Why not join us over at the Haunted UK podcast, where every 2 weeks we delve deep into the tales of the strange and unusual, the unsolved and the downright weird. The Haunted UK podcast is available on all major platforms, as well as being on Instagram and Coffee. So why not give us a follow and get involved with the show? Thanks for listening, and we really hope that you'll join us for our next episode. And on that note, it's back to the show.
Do you think people ever are like, oh, American accents?
I
No.
do think that some people of other countries do find our accents interesting, but or appealing.
Mhm. I wonder what the best
No,
accent is. Maybe it's Minnesota.
it's probably
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It probably
Okay.
is. Probably that one. Yeah.
So
For
my
sure.
company,
For
I
sure.
saw, sorry, oh, for sure. Oh, for sure.
Oh, for cute.
Oh, for cute. So my company, I just saw, has a cookbook put together by, recipes that employees submitted.
Nice.
And one of the recipes was a tater tot crock pot dish,
Oh,
like slow cooker. And I'm like, if that is not the most Minnesotan dish you could get,
Yeah.
a tater tot casserole in the crock pot.
I think we call that hot dish though. Tater tot.
Do
Hot
you?
dish. I don't think
Hot
we say
dish?
I don't think we say casserole here. I
Uh-oh.
think we say hot dish.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. It's
Oh,
a hot
for
dish.
sure. It's a hot dish. Do you follow on TikTok? I know because we always have to talk about TikTok people, but do you follow that Minnesota mom?
With the short curly hair.
Yeah. And she
Yeah.
like sings opera and she
Yeah.
makes Minnesota
Salads
salads
that
that
aren't really salads. Yep.
Oh, I love her.
Don't forget the
So good.
Snickers salad, which is just Cool Whip and Snickers and some apples.
And it sounds so good.
It's really good. I've had.
I would eat the shit out of that.
The good news is there are apples in it, so it's healthy.
So it's healthy.
yeah.
You get your fruits for the day. That's
Your
right.
fruits. Oh, for
Oh,
sure.
for sure. There was something else. I found another guy on TikTok and I just watched one video. And when you were talking about the Ruth who was doing all this horrible shit to her son, he was talking about how his mother,
Mhm.
she had, I think there's 2 or maybe 3 boys in his family, brothers. And his mother put them all through what she called husband training.
I
And
saw
Did you
that.
see that? And he was like, she taught us how to, be respectful of women. And she had like this whole like syllabus of all the
Yep.
stuff that she would teach them. And it was so wonderful. And I was reading the comments and everybody was like, can you like make this a YouTube series or make
Mhm.
this do something, people will pay for this.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I'm like, that's what we need is moms out there who
Yep.
have boys to teach them how to be, teach
Yeah,
them how to be good men. I know
Yes.
you will.
I'm
you
going to
know.
have my son take me on dates and he'll learn how to be polite and
Yeah.
he'll learn. I'm not going to be that one of those people who say, oh, well, if she says no, it just means try harder.
Right.
No.
Mhm.
If she says no, if anybody says no,
Mhm.
that's a no.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean try harder.
Right.
It doesn't mean ask her again
Yeah.
or ask them again. It
Yeah.
means no.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
don't come at me with this boys will be boys shit.
No, that is bullshit and that's got to stop. That's
Mm-mm.
ridiculous.
My hope is that our generation is being made more aware of this.
Yeah.
So hopefully within 2 or 3, which is still too long, generations, that's not the norm anymore.
I think you're right. I think generations, especially, I think if you go that long, I think we'll be done. We'll be dead, but
Yeah.
We won't see it, but
no. But if it gets there,
yeah, I'll be happy.
Yeah, I saw
Yes,
that.
it
It was
sooner.
amazing.
Yeah, I loved it. I actually teared up a little bit while I was watching it. It was very
that's
sweet.
what I'm going to do with my son is teach him how to, and it's sad that we have to make this a point to teach
It
him
is.
how to be decent human beings.
Yep, it is.
But be a good partner. Like,
Mhm.
yeah. So I
Yep.
saw him too. I really liked that.
And one of the comments was, "Well, now I'm mad at my mother-in-law." Oh, funny. Okay.
Damn it.
So now that we're back from break, this is season 2, episode 17 on Discovery Plus, just episode 15 on Hulu. I don't know why it's goofed up. I didn't delve into it too much. The original air date was May 3rd, 2013. And the reason I chose it is that I asked Alexa for a number between 1 and 14. And she gave me 2. And then I asked for a number between 1 and, I think there's like 23 episodes in this season. And she gave me 17. So
Here we are.
here we are at season 2, episode 17. So
In case you wanted a really scientific method.
yes, because that's probably how I'm going to pick them from now on. Actually, no, there's like 4 or 5 episodes that I watched before we ever even thought about doing a podcast about this, that I put notes in my phone when I was watching them because they were really, like, I really, really liked the episodes and they were really, like, did something to me, made me cry or made me happy or whatever. And so I put them in a little note in my phone that these are the episodes that I liked if I ever wanted to watch them again or whatever. So I do plan to go back and grab those. But one of the ones that was my favorite was a really sad one. And so I wasn't really ready to do that one.
Yeah.
Someday I will,
mindset.
because it was a really good one, but it was so sad at the reveal at the end. The client says, "Oh no, I made Amy Allen cry."
Oh, Amy.
I know. It was a really good one. It was very, very sad, and I do want to cover that one at some point, but not tonight.
Nope.
Not that this one is all sunshine and roses, like we were saying. I mean, it is called Possessed.
Yeah.
So I think you know kind of what we're in for. So this one takes place in Watervliet, Michigan. It is
Both of our stories are in Michigan.
Oh, was yours in Michigan too? I missed that.
Hang on, let me see.
It probably is. I just probably missed that. Then they're even more similar than I thought. These two.
St. Charles, Michigan. Yep.
Wow, look at that.
Oh my God, we're so
Michigan
connected.
represent. Maybe we'll get a bunch of downloads from Michigan.
Go Detroit Lions. Rawr.
Rawr.
That's how Lions.
Oh dear. Okay, so it's a town on the river, and it looks really, the footage in the beginning is like really spooky. It's dark, it's foggy, it looks fucking cold. There's snow on the ground. And it's early enough in the series that Steve is still explaining how the show works. You know, he's going to go talk to the clients and Amy's going to do her walk. Blah, blah. Yeah. So the client is Amanda, and she lives in the house with her mother, and a tenant who is a family friend lives in the basement. So Amanda believes that the house will kill her. She gets scratches and burns. It's affecting her health, her sleeping, and she's gained a lot of weight since she moved in there.
Bless her.
Amy arrives, and it's a cute 1.5-story home, but the area, it just looks, if a picture can look cold, it looked so cold. It just looked like, ugh. And maybe just because we're just coming off of that now.
Yeah.
And we've been so cold for a few months.
Forever. Oh, gotta love the Midwest.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
It was like 65 2 days ago. And then
it snowed.
Then it snowed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
And now we're under a wind advisory for tonight.
Oh, are we? Oh,
Yeah.
good. Okay. Maybe I'll sleep with the window closed tonight then. So Amy arrives, and it's this cute house, and she is seeing a lot of physical activity, she says. There's a dead person or entity that is controlling the area. She says it might be a child. And she keeps getting something about hidden truth. She keeps hearing the words hidden truth is what she said specifically came through. So now we're going to Steve. He's talking with Amanda. She says her health has declined. She's gained weight. She had a heart attack recently, and she's only 32.
Oh my gosh.
And Steve asked what precipitated the heart attack. And he's like, does it have anything to do with the weight gain? And she said the doctors don't know, but there were no blockages. So
I would say no then.
Yeah. So she's afraid for her boyfriend, who doesn't live there, but he comes with his kids on the weekends.
Oh,
And
the kids.
yeah, there's kids. And she believes that whatever in the house is trying to kill her.
Oh, no.
She tells Steve that she wakes up with scratches and burns. She has pictures of these. Steve tries to find other reasons for them as usual. You know, was it a dog or whatever? And
a dog's not going to burn you, Steve.
I don't think he I know the dog for that.
Look at little fucking Fozzie over in the corner with a little lighter, just waiting for you to go to bed.
Oh, poor Fozzie. That's my biggest, oldest dog. He is blind to the bat. Yeah.
Is he? What? When did he go blind?
He's been slowly going blind. I shouldn't say he's blind as a bat. He's not that blind, but he's has trouble seeing. His cataract's really bad. So his eyes don't, what's the opposite of dilate? They don't close back up again.
Oh.
So like they're always open. So when he can't go outside because it's too bright.
Too bright.
And we got him some goggles.
Glasses.
We got him some goggles. And he hates them. He just paws them off. But if you can get him on and make him keep them on, he can walk around outside just fine.
Yeah.
But he doesn't like them on his face and he pulls them off.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, poor Foz.
I know. So she has nightmares, and she had one where they were driving her boyfriend Mike's kids home and they were hit by a semi. She sees a thing standing behind the. Oh, sorry. This is I mixed up my notes a little bit. This is Amy.
Happens to the best of us.
I know.
This is Megan.
So Amy sees a thing standing behind the living person, and it's telling her to do things. And it sort of puts the person in a trance-like state. And she
almost possessed, would you say?
Almost, yes. I think you could say that. The P word.
Oh, no.
There's no way the living can avoid being influenced by the dead here. She said, these people are unhealthy. They can't take care of themselves. They can't sleep. They overeat. They're not safe anywhere in this house. And she sensed that it was targeting one person in particular.
Could it be a woman?
And she said this thing can easily access this person's mind and can make it do anything it wants.
No.
So then we go back to Steve, and he's with Amanda in the kitchen, where she says she saw a man, tall, thin, square-jawed, button-down shirt, and she thinks he was warning her about something else in the house. So then go to Amy.
You have another big J.
Kind of. Yeah. So Amy then sees a male. He's not that old. He's in his 50s. He's angry, but she doesn't think he's advanced enough to be a problem to the living. So he's like banging on the walls and stomping on the floors. And he's trying to put it back the way he knows it. This is his house. He wants it back the way he knows it. So go back to Steve and Amanda. They're still in the kitchen. She's saying how she woke up, like sort of was in a trance-like state, woke up, came to, and was spinning a knife.
Oh my God.
She felt like she was in a trance. She later realized when she came to that she was having suicidal thoughts. And she was basically like, I'm going to die anyway. I might as well just end it. And she said she never told anybody about this before because they're already worried about her, and she didn't want anybody to worry about her even more.
My heart just plummeted.
Sorry.
Can you imagine coming to and you're just spitting a knife?
No.
Fuck me. No,
yeah. She thinks it's trying to kill her either by her health or by taking her own life. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So here, now we're going to find out what it is. Amy, she senses a girl, 12 to 13 years old, who looks like a shadow person. She's bad. Amy jumps and says that she zapped her. She says she fucking ran at me. And the entity took all of her energy, and she tries to control people in the house and wants them to kill themselves or someone else.
Do we find out why she wants them? Okay. To kill themselves?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
You mean you find out why she's damaged.
Yeah.
So now Steve and Amanda are in the kids' room. This is the room where the kids, Mike's, her boyfriend's kids stay when they come.
Oh my God, is his name Mike too?
Yes, there's a Mike too. Yep,
Holy
I know.
shit.
There's a lot of parallels. So the kids are 11 and 12.
Mhm.
I think it's a boy and a girl. So they only talk about the son and that he has seen red eyes staring at him from the hallway when he's sitting in that room.
I don't like it.
Mm-mm.
I don't want it.
Nope. So then Amy's in the kids' room and she says the little girl, the entity, is jealous of whoever's in the room. And Matt asks how the entity would affect the living. And Amy says that it is centered on an adult female and it is trying to make her kill whoever is in the room.
The kids.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
So now we talked to Mike, the boyfriend. He said he sometimes feels someone crawling into bed with him. And it's not Amanda because she's up in the other room watching TV. And he also had somebody whisper in his ear, "How you doing?" And it was a female. And he said he has fits of rage and he's afraid he's going to hurt someone. But he only feels that when he's here. Not when he's at work or anywhere else, just when he's at home or at her house. So Amy says that this girl likes to be as scary as possible. And she crawls in bed with a person in this room.
Oh, I think we can check off as scary as possible. I think she's achieved that life goal.
I think she
Death goal? I don't know. Whatever goal.
That level, let's say, like it's a game.
Yeah.
She yells.
Level unlocked.
Yeah. She yells and screams and howls, and Amy thinks the living would be able to hear it. The girl can go anywhere she wants to in the house, and she makes people feel agitated and makes them feel sick, and it drains their energy.
No shit.
Now we're talking, Steve is talking to Pat, who is Amanda's mom, who also lives there.
Mhm.
And she is a lot. Talk about mother-in-laws. She's been in this house for 17 years. She's not experienced anything herself.
Mhm.
And Steve asks her why that is. And she says that she has a relationship with the Lord, and that keeps her from seeing or experiencing anything demonic. And she believes that whatever's here is demonic.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And my thought was, that sounds like something the devil would do,
Mhm.
not something that God would do.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
I mean, not that I necessarily believe in either one, but
I don't think God's going to be terrorizing people.
right.
That's not his jam.
Right. But
Or her jam.
or her, but I just don't, I mean, it's in all the like stuff I've read about, what the devil does. It doesn't come at you like a devil. It comes at you
No.
like the nice guy.
Yep. Or a
I'm
child.
texting you or a child. Yep.
Yep.
So anyway, she does believe that something is here and she believes it's after Amanda. And Steve asks, why Amanda? And she
Is
says,
it because she doesn't have a good relationship with the Lord?
you got it.
Ah.
Mom says she believes that God has a special purpose for Amanda and she hasn't stepped up to it.
So she's blaming Amanda.
I know. I wrote in my notes, nice victim blaming. Yep.
So your
So-
daughter's health is failing and she's had a heart attack.
Mhm.
At
And it's all because she has
32.
stepped up to God's plan for her.
I'm sorry, but no, that's not, to me, that's not real faith.
This is why I have a problem with religion.
Mhm.
Anyway,
That's not,
right. So she says if Amanda found her way back to God, the activity would cease. She's sure of it.
okay, but how, okay. No.
Yep. So Steve asks, what does she expect from this? What can Steve and Amy do for her? And she says she has no expectations that they can do anything because there is a war going on between God's angels and the devil's demons.
Holy shit.
So she's fun at parties.
Oh,
So
okay.
like
I
I
need a
said,
minute.
like I said, she's a lot. Yeah.
No. No. Okay.
Yeah.
I bet she believes that people who are raped were asking for it
Oh, probably. Yeah.
because they were
probably.
provocatively dressed.
Yep. Yep.
What were you wearing?
Uh-huh.
Why were you out so late?
She definitely seems like one of those of that I don't want to say that generation because there are plenty of people that are her age that aren't.
Yeah. I would say that mindset.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
For the record, Amy and I don't believe that.
Yeah. No.
Just in case you didn't catch that today. Yeah. We are not.
We try not to blame victims.
Okay. Moving on.
So yeah, that's okay. We don't see her talk about her again.
Is she in the reveal? Oh, good. Well, she doesn't think they could do anything.
Right. She doesn't think
Amanda
that.
and Mike are probably heathens and probably having unmarital sex.
That's right. Oh, I'm sure. Can you imagine what she thinks about that? I didn't even think about that.
Under her roof.
Right. Oh, dear Lord. That can't go well.
No.
Yeesh. Okay, so Amy and Matt are now downstairs in the basement. And Amy says things are really bad down here.
Can there ever be a basement where like good things happen?
Well, my basement, good things happen down here.
Did you have a basement in your other house?
Yes.
Did things happen there?
The basement in our old house was fine. There was nothing creepy down there except that there were a lot of bugs. And
you should have had Adams come out.
And I know we didn't know Adams back then.
Yeah.
We had bugs, we had bats, we had mice, we had a whole ecosystem down there. It was it was amazing. We did not go down there all that much except to do laundry.
I don't even think I knew that your old house had a basement. Yeah. How did you get to it? Where was it?
The stairs to the basement was off the kitchen or in the kitchen.
Okay, let me try to.
So right by the back door. Remember when you go in the back door?
And there was that little pantry.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was yep, the little pantry. So it was on the other side of the other side of the door from that. It was a door that went down to the basement.
Yeah.
And it was a big basement, really big basement with fully tall ceilings and everything. It wasn't like a spooky basement. It just wasn't finished. You know, we had a couch and chairs and stuff down there. And whenever we had parties and people wanted to smoke, we sent them down there.
Yeah.
So that was like the smoking room.
Yeah.
It was not fancy.
Anyways.
So
we're in the basement.
They're in the basement. And Amy says there's an old man putzing around being grumpy. He's pissed off. He's miserable about his life. And he hates that someone is down there. Because there's a cellar dweller. She says he is trying to kill whoever hangs out down here.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Right. So this is not the same old man that she saw earlier.
Yeah.
There are two men in the basement. This one's bad. So then Steve, right after that, I thought that when we go to Steve, I thought he would be talking to Mike and would say, that Mike would say he hangs in the basement. That's because I forgot all about the cellar dweller. And we never talked to him. Steve never
really
interviews him, at least not. Maybe if he did, it was cut. So we don't know anything about the guy that lives in the basement. So Steve's on the road in the caddy he's on his way to talk to a historian named Daryl Schlender. Who told him that
Slender.
How'd I do?
You're so good.
Thank you. He told him that Amanda's house is a big part of the town's history, that the land was purchased and developed by a guy named Isaac Swain in the early 1830s, and that he owned a lot of the property in the area, about 900 acres. He was a lumber mill owner and the biggest one in the county. But that's it. That's all they talked about. And then
by George, he was the biggest lumber mill owner in the county.
By George. So then we go to Amy and she's outside near a shed and she sees. And she said she saw this when she first opened too, like even before she got to the property, that she sees thick woods and a lot of trees. And there's a little old lady saying it's too bad about the trees and that they cut them all down. So I'm sure she's talking about the mill owner.
Yep.
So then we go to Steve and he says, well, Daryl knew very little about Swain's personal life. He's like, I got to go find someone else.
Damn it, Daryl.
Give me some shit. Yeah. So he's
Give
going
me the dirt. Pun intended, because he was a lumberjack digging up the trees or whatever lumberjacks do. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they cut down trees.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they don't dig them up.
I don't think so. So he's on his way to meet with a local author named Chris Lyon. She tells him that it's Lyon, but okay, yeah.
Okay, sure.
That's just what the British spelling, or French spelling, maybe?
Lyon.
So the Swains had 3 kids, 2 of them died within 2 years. Their daughter, Martha, died at age 15, and their son, William, died at age 3. But it was so long ago that they don't have any sort of information about why they died.
Like death records or anything.
Right.
Mhm.
So here's where it gets good. The middle daughter, Louisa, had a tragic accident when she was somewhere around between the ages of 10 and 12. Now, remember the little girl that Amy sees is between 10 and 12.
Yep.
She fell and hit her head and became mentally disabled, and she had to have 24-hour care. Then Isaac's wife, Valonia, got sick. And
there's a name.
I know. I had to put the closed captions on so I could see how they spelled her name, because I thought she was saying Valonia. So it's Valonia, Vallonia. So her symptoms were very similar to tuberculosis, aka consumption.
Consumption.
So they traveled, she and Isaac and his wife traveled around the country for 3 years searching for the best care for Valonia. She ended up dying in 1858. Do you think
while they were touring, did they just take their daughter or they just dump her off somewhere?
Nope, they left her at home with her care staff. So basically she was for 3 years left alone with staff. And she had no social interaction. The only people she knew were her caretakers. And when her family passed away, she was left alone. And she lived until 1909, which wasn't mentioned in the show, but I found the family's gravestone and it had all the birth and death dates of all the...
How old was she when she passed away?
I don't remember. Let me see if I can find it quick. I can always cut this. We might have to do math.
Okay. I'm really good at maths.
I know you are. That's why I asked you.
I know. Tell me the numbers. I'll do it in my head. Lickety split.
Okay. Lickety split.
Lickety split.
Split. She was born, Louisa, 1833.
Okay.
And she died in 1909.
Oh, she was old. So 67 plus 9 is 75? 76.
That is old. Especially
in that era.
And to be living, with a
mentally handicapped.
Yeah, with having to have 24-hour care.
Wow. And she was alone.
Yeah.
No wonder she's so angry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
So Amy's talking about the young girl again, and she says she has a lot of physical pain that she's dealing with, and she's not herself. She's mentally not okay. She likes to play with people because she wasn't allowed to play with people when she was alive.
Oh, wow.
And she was screaming at Amy. And then Amy says in a spooky whisper, she's kind of creepy, though. She's creeping me out a little bit. So now Steve is doing his library thing. He's at the library looking into the property. And he finds a story about a funeral that took place at the house. And he wants more info. So he goes to Roland Hitchens. Sorry. Sally. Sally, I need another sip of my
rum. Yeah, a sip of your wine cream. Oh, that's right. We've moved on to Rebel.
I'm under the Rebel now.
We're done with the wine cream.
I'm done. I don't know. It's kind of good though. Anyway.
Sometimes that wine cream just hits the spot.
I know. Sometimes it does. So he wants more info. So he goes to Roland Hutchins, who is a local funeral director. And we learn of Sadie Smith, who died in 1918. Her funeral was in the client's living room.
Don't like that. Please don't have funerals in your home.
That was the thing of the day. It was totally normal back then.
I know.
She was 32 years old and she died of the Spanish flu.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Which, when COVID hit, a lot of people compared it to the Spanish flu and that a lot of people died, but, a lot of people survived. It can't be that bad. Whatever.
Yeah.
She had it for 5 days and she passed away. The funeral director. What?
I said that was quick.
I know. She probably wasn't vaccinated.
Probably. Well, her right. Her body, her choice.
Right. That's right. The funeral director confirms that back then it was very common to have funerals in the home. And I paused the screen on the death certificate so I could read it all.
Yeah.
And so I was like, pause, play. So I could every time it moved on the screen, I was trying to read everything. And then after I wrote everything down, then I did a search and I found her grave. And then in the findagrave.com website, it also has a document of the death certificate. So
you didn't need to do all that.
I didn't need to do all that shenanigans.
But where's the fun in that?
I know, right? So her death was October 18th, 1918. She was
a day before my birthday.
Hang on.
I mean, obviously not in 1918. But.
Right.
I look so good for
day over 100.
I don't look a day over 30. Skincare routine is flawless. Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry.
She was 32 years and 2 days old. So this was right after her birthday, which was on October 16, 1886. The official cause of death is heart failure. As a contributory cause of death, it lists la grippe, which is an old-timey name for the flu. And I think it's high time we bring that back.
I think so.
So her father's name was J. Wallace Smith.
Oh, J. Wallace.
I found her grave, and I will post that. It's a very sad gravestone that just says her name. It's like one of those little ones that just sits in the ground. It doesn't stand up, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
So,
like a plaque.
Yeah, it's like a little thing that's, well, that, you know, they did that a lot back then.
Yeah.
Especially if you weren't super, super rich.
I was just going to say those gravestones cost, even today, they're expensive.
Oh, I know. So Amy's now in the bedroom and she said something took place here where people are crying and screaming. And I think there was a funeral here.
God, she's so good.
I know, right? Casket was open and people were saying goodbye. It was a young female and everyone was crying and freaking out. So then Steve says that Sadie's parents, after she passed away, the parents stayed in the home and the mother passed away 5 years later. She died of heart disease. And I believe she died in the house, but the funeral was not there. Dad, John Wallace Smith, lived in the house and died there of a cerebral hemorrhage.
Ooh.
So now we go to Amy, who's back in the basement, and she sees that elderly man, the one that's really angry. He's upset and that somebody is in his space. He hates the people living here. And Amy then experiences the physical pain that this man felt. And she said, particularly, it's in her head. And she thinks it could have been like an aneurysm.
Oh my God.
So this is clearly Sadie's dad.
Yeah.
And then there was no section that was like the sketches. It just wasn't.
Really?
It went right to the reveal. And I'm like,
it didn't go to the sketch?
No. And I even like rewound and I'm like,
they always go to the sketch. And then
I'm
like, Amy,
I know.
Is this what you saw?
What you saw?
Yes, that is what I saw. Not at all rehearsed or planned or scripted.
She's probably so fucking sick of saying that.
I'm sure she is.
I saw somebody on Twitter. She had mentioned something about writing a book, and someone said your book needs to be called "Yes, That's What I Saw."
That's what I saw. Yep.
And she was like, "Yes."
Yep.
So we go to the reveal. It's Amanda and Mike and Amy and Steve. And Steve gives a brief intro to Amy of the clients. And then Amy first thing she talked about is the funeral she saw. And Steve tells her about Sadie Smith, and it was probably her because her funeral was here. And then Steve pulls out the death certificate, and Amanda looks at it and she goes, "Is that Sadie's birth date or her death date?" And Amy says, "That's her birth date." And she goes, "That's just 3 days after mine." Which is so weird. That's why it's so weird that you said that.
Oh my God. We got lots of Libras in this episode.
I know. Libras rule.
They do rule.
So then Amy talks about the basement. What?
I said, that's crazy.
I know. So then Amy talks about the basement and the angry old man who despises whoever lives there. And I just realized that they never talked to the cellar dweller. It wasn't until now when I realized they never spoke to him. She mentions the sharp pain in her head. So Steve brings up Sadie's dad, who died of the cerebral hemorrhage. And Mike says that the tenant that lives in the basement has seen things like shadows and a man standing in the doorway. So Steve asks Amanda to tell Amy about the apparition she saw, the guy in the kitchen, I think he was, the tall guy with the button-down shirt.
Yep.
And Amy asked what he was wearing. And Amanda described him. And Amy said she briefly encountered someone else and she did a sketch of him. And I was like, oh, okay, we do have sketches. So now they go back and show the sketch portion of her talking to the sketch artist.
Okay.
So they didn't have a separate section for it earlier. They go back to it.
Okay. They just change it up a bit.
Yeah. So, and this is season 2. And I don't remember if all the other episodes in that season did this. I don't think so.
Mhm.
because this seemed like kind of a surprise to me, but maybe that's because I've been watching more recent ones lately.
Mhm.
So the sketches of a man. Oh, I'll send it to you. So
You'll have to show me over the actually, you know what? Let me open up WhatsApp at the computer because I think my phone's upstairs.
okay. Oh, I thought you. Oh, maybe you brought it up when you went to get
Yeah.
the package. Okay. So then I will just show it to you. Hopefully it'll work. I'll cut off.
Did you send it too?
No, I didn't send it yet. All right, I'll send it to you. Okay. Okay, so this one is the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try and show it to you too, but it's just that's a lot of
Okay.
glare. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is he did not sound to me, looking at that picture, did not look to me like what Amanda said she saw. He doesn't look tall and thin, and he's not wearing a button-down shirt.
No.
But Amanda looked at the picture and she said, yeah, that's him. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Wow. Okay.
And so Amy says that he is confused and he gets frustrated, and she asks them if they ever hear banging, and they both at the same time say all the time.
Yeah.
So then Amy talks about when she saw the house with all the trees and the old lady, and how she was upset about the trees being removed. And then Steve talks about Isaac Swain, the guy who owned the mill. And then Amy brings up the little girl again and says she's the most important one here. She's been here for at least 100 years.
Mhm.
And she is in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
She was in an accident and mentally wasn't herself, not allowed to interact with people. And that's when Steve goes, well, I didn't have to think too much about this one, and talks about Louisa Swain.
Mhm.
Amy says that she affects everyone in the house. And then she basically runs down a checklist of all the shit that Amanda's got: draining energy, making
Yep.
people overeat, affecting sleep, making them sleepwalk, and climbing into bed with them. And she says she can jump inside people and control them. And she says she has her sights set on one person in this house in particular, and she stays by this person all the time.
Mhm.
Amanda says that's definitely me, and tells the story about sleepwalking and how she felt suicidal.
And the knife.
Yep. And Amy says she's trying to control them both Amanda and Mike.
Mhm.
And then Steve shows the scratch marks and the possible burn marks, and Amy says, yep, that's her.
Wow.
And then Amy says, I did a sketch of this little girl.
Oh crap.
Exactly. And because they didn't have a sketch section, I didn't know what she was going to sketch. I didn't think there were going to be any sketches at all. And seriously, when she said I did a sketch of this little girl, I got chills.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
Are you gonna send it to me?
Yeah.
Oh my
Sure,
God.
now.
Am I ready for this? Probably not. I never am.
Well, you know what? It's actually, the sketch itself is not that scary. The idea is scary, but the sketch itself is not that scary. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, I like the way
Let
that
me
they
pull this up here.
I like the way that they
Oh,
Do I-
that's scary.
do you want to describe it?
So I think it looks like an overweight woman standing in a hallway, and it almost looks like there's something over her head.
Oh, I think that's just like the door in front of her. And it's the ceiling of the hallway with the doors on either side. I think there's a door in front of her, and she's going up steps.
Oh, that's her back. Okay. I thought she was facing us. Okay.
Oh, yes. No, I
she's
think she's
going
walking
up the
away
stairs.
from us.
Yeah. So there's 2 steps, and she's going up the stairs. There's 3 doors. There's one on each side of her, and then one in front of her. And it looks like the little girl is 2 steps down from her and is just holding on to the back of her.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
So like, the sketch itself is not like a super creepy sketch,
No,
but
not
if
like
somebody, no, but if somebody were to show me that picture and say that's you and that's that little girl hanging off your back of your shirt, yeah, that would, yeah.
Yep. Nope. I'm done.
Yep. So I just want to say I liked the way that they didn't show the sketch and tell us what we were going to see until the clients were told what they were going to see. I think that was more effective. I think it was more emotional because I definitely got goosebumps.
Yeah.
She said, I'm going to show you a sketch of the little girl.
Ooh,
I didn't know it was coming.
Yeah.
Okay, so Amy talks about how the girl is extremely powerful and how she had charged her and drained all of her energy. She talks about the very disturbing scene she saw upstairs in the kids' room, and the ghost girl's intention was to murder them. And she's using Amanda as a vessel to do the deed. She wants it to get to the point where she can control her 100% so that she can do this. The girl is the one that's causing jealousy between Amanda and Mike over the kids. And they talk about that, which they didn't talk about before. But Amanda does say, yeah, when Mike is here with the kids, I feel like I'm not getting the attention that I want because he's paying attention to the kids.
Right.
And poor Mike is like, I try to divide my attention equally between the kids and Amanda. And she's feeling that way because the girl is making her feel that way, not because of anything that he is doing wrong.
Yeah. Or she is doing wrong.
Yeah. Right. So then it comes to, can they stay? And she says there are things that need to be done. They first must go through the bedroom and make it childproof. And Mike has to sleep right outside the room to protect Amanda.
Wow.
And Amanda asked why this is so important. And Amy said, I don't want anybody in this situation to be harmed. And right now, she could harm you or somebody else.
Oh.
And I think when she says she means Amanda, not the ghost.
Yeah.
Because obviously the ghost can get to Amanda whether Mike is sleeping next to her or sleeping in another house. So I think she's talking about Amanda. So I think she's putting Mike at the door so that Amanda doesn't come out of there and kill the kids or something. Yeah. That's terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
And can you imagine hearing that?
I wouldn't sleep in that house. I wouldn't have my kids in the house anymore.
No, I know. I wouldn't either. But can you imagine hearing that? Like, you love this man and his children, and you're like, somebody tells you that you might kill them. I mean, ugh. So guess what? The next thing that has to be done is
Reiki master?
No, an exorcism. Amy says that's the only way you're going to get rid of her. She explains this girl has done too many bad things and she's beyond repair.
Yeah.
So Steve says, are you going to do this? And they say, yes. We don't want any harm to come to anyone else. The update, Amanda and Mike have childproofed their bedroom. They continue searching for a priest to perform the exorcism. Mike's kids have been visiting less frequently and have reported no further activity.
Good.
So I don't know. Maybe, I see again, and this is something, again, producers, people, if you're listening, we want updates.
Yeah, we do.
We want to know what, even if it's 10 years later, I want to know what happened to these people.
Even if it's 2 sentences.
Yeah.
What happened? Are they okay?
Like the stupid Netflix show that I loved. Shit. Well, I was talking about it a couple weeks ago. Love is Blind.
Love is Blind.
Even they did like a year later, they had everybody together in the same room and then they all yelled at each other and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is trash. But I think it would be interesting to do something like that. Take a few of the really interesting, not that they're not all interesting, but take a few of the episodes, maybe put the people together and just ask them a few questions.
Yeah.
Obviously you can't do all, 27 episodes in season 2 or whatever that was. It was season 2 was a long one.
Yeah. Maybe go back to like season 1 or 2. It's been
and
9 years.
Right. And they did do Ghost Files Revisited or whatever. But Amy said they only did it for season 1. I haven't seen any of them because they're only on like YouTube and you have to pay like $3 a pop for them. So I didn't bother. I would like to see those, but I would also like to see updates on some of the later ones.
Right.
Some of the more recent ones.
Yep.
So
yeah, I would too.
Amy had mentioned in the beginning that when she met the little girl, first she kept hearing hidden truth. And it never came up again. But I was trying to think about that. Like, what could she have meant? And I think that maybe it was just Louisa saying that, like, because she was hidden from the world, that was where, she was left alone and she was kind of hidden away.
I mean, so like her parents kind of made her into what she was in the afterlife.
Yeah. Yeah. I do find it interesting that even like she she didn't die until she was 70 something, right?
Yeah, 76.
So
If my math is correct, which
I'm sure it is. I think it's interesting that she is a
child,
10 to 12-year-old ghost.
Yeah.
That she chose to pick.
Well, that's the last time she was healthy. She was mentally aware.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Although even Amy said that she's not mentally stable as a ghost. She's not mentally stable. But who knows? Maybe she wasn't mentally stable before she fell and cracked her head.
Yeah. Ooh, those were deep ones.
Yeah. So there we are.
There we are, everybody. Tip your waitstaff.
Yeah. Hope you can sleep tonight.
You're the best. Well, thanks everybody for listening.
Yeah, thanks. And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. The Activity Continues podcast is produced by me, Amy, at Collected Sounds Media, and is a part of the independent Collected Sounds podcast network.
Nailed it.